Shaq's also got 20 points in the ball game. Shaq go to the dribble, pivots underneath, puts it up, and blocking the shot in the rim, and it went back from Avent's block right into the hands of Shaq, who's
7 feet 1 inch, 325 pounds, a force of nature disguised as a basketball player. Shaquille O'Neal didn't just play basketball. He broke it, literally, shattered backboards, bent rims, forced the NBA to reinforce every basket in the league. 4 championships, 3 finals MVPs, the most physically dominant player the game has ever seen. But here's what nobody talks about. Shaq could have been so much more. Phil Jackson called him the laziest superstar he ever coached. Kobe said he could have won 10 rings if he worked harder. So what's the truth? Was Shaq the most dominant big man ever? Or the biggest what-if in NBA history? How good was Shaq actually? From birth, Shaquille O'Neal was different. Not just tall, massive. At age 3, his mother had to carry his birth certificate everywhere. Bus drivers didn't believe a kid that size could be in preschool. They thought she was lying about his age. But size came with problems. Shaq fought constantly. He lashed out. Teachers saw a troubled kid headed down a dangerous path. Then came Sergeant Philip Harrison, Shaq's stepfather. Military man, strict discipline, no excuses. He gave Shaq the structure he desperately needed. At 13 years old, already 6 feet 7 inches, Shaq's life changed forever on an army base in Germany. Dale Brown, head coach at LSU, was visiting the base. He saw this enormous kid and assumed he was a soldier. Shaq told him he was 13. Coach Brown nearly fell over. He immediately found Shaq's parents and told them, "Your son has a future, and I want him to have it with us." Shaq got a verbal commitment to LSU before he ever played high school basketball. That's how rare his talent was. When the family moved to Texas, Shaq enrolled at Cole High School, and the dominance began. 2 seasons, 68 wins, 1 loss, a state championship. Then he arrived at LSU, and people couldn't believe what they were seeing. 7 feet 1 inch, nearly 300 pounds, 7 feet 7 inch wingspan, size 23 shoes. He looked like he was built in a laboratory. His freshman year, he was raw. But his next 2 seasons, complete domination. 28 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks per game. The most overwhelming physical presence college basketball had ever seen. Even though Christian Laettner made the 1992 Dream Team over him, NBA scouts knew the truth. Shaq was the prize. The next evolution of basketball. 1992 NBA Draft. Orlando Magic, first overall pick. Shaquille O'Neal. What happened next was unprecedented. He dented a backboard in New Jersey. He ripped down an entire hoop structure in Phoenix. The NBA had to reinforce every single basket in the league because of one player. But Shaq wasn't just power. He could run the fast break like a guard. He had footwork. He had touch. He had instincts that most 7-footers could only dream about. 23 points, 14 rebounds, 3.5 blocks as a rookie. First rookie All-Star since Michael Jordan. Unanimous Rookie of the Year. And off the court? He became a cultural phenomenon. Movies, rap albums, commercials, Shaq Diesel, Kazam, Blue Chips. He was everywhere. Then Orlando drafted Penny Hardaway, Magic Johnson, and Kareem 2.0, the future of the NBA. Shaq led the league in scoring. The Magic won 57 games. They beat Michael Jordan's Bulls in the playoffs, even with MJ back from retirement. Shaq was ascending to superstardom. The finals were next, against Hakeem Olajuwon's Rockets. And that's when the cracks started to show. Shaq partied before the 1995 finals. He wasn't focused. He wasn't prepared. Hakeem Olajuwon destroyed him. Not with power, with experience, with discipline, with patience. Houston swept Orlando in 4 games. Shaq averaged 28 points, but Hakeem exposed his defensive weaknesses, his lack of maturity, his inability to stay locked in when it mattered most. The Magic came back stronger in 1996, won a franchise record 60 games, and then got swept by Michael Jordan's 72-win Bulls in the conference finals. But the real disaster happened off the court. Orlando lowballed Shaq. A local newspaper ran a poll asking fans if he was worth $100 million. The majority said no. Shaq felt disrespected, unwanted, undervalued, and Jerry West, the legendary Lakers GM, smelled blood in the water. He pitched Shaq on Hollywood, a bigger market, a young phenom named Kobe Bryant, a championship future. Shaq made the decision that would define the next decade of the NBA. He left Orlando for Los Angeles. Shaq arrived in Los Angeles as the biggest star in basketball. He dropped rap albums. He starred in movies. He became the face of the franchise overnight. But the wins didn't come. The Lakers were swept out of the playoffs. Critics questioned everything: his focus, his conditioning, his commitment to winning. Shaq was talented, but he wasn't locked in. Not yet. Then 1999 happened. Phil Jackson arrived, the Zen Master, 11 championship rings as a coach, the man who turned Michael Jordan into a champion, the man who built the Bulls dynasty. Jackson looked at Shaq and said one thing: "You're not working hard enough." And for the first time in his career, Shaq listened. He trained harder. He slimmed down. He locked in. The results were immediate. 1999 to 2000, Shaq's magnum opus: 29.7 points, 13.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 3.0 blocks per game, 57.4% shooting. He came one vote shy of being a unanimous MVP. One voter chose Allen Iverson. Everyone else chose Shaq. The Lakers won 67 games and entered the playoffs as the clear favorite. They steamrolled through the first 3 rounds. Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, down 15 to Portland in the fourth quarter, the season on the brink. Then Kobe lobbed the alley-oop. Shaq threw it down. Staples Center exploded. The Lakers completed the comeback and advanced to the finals against the Indiana Pacers. And Shaq put on a show: 38 points and 17 rebounds per game. Absolute domination. The Lakers won the championship. Shaq finally had his ring, his finals MVP, his validation. But he wasn't done. Not even close. The Lakers struggled early in the season, but by playoff time, they were unstoppable. They swept through the Western Conference, 15-1 in the playoffs, the most dominant playoff run in modern NBA history. Finals against Allen Iverson's 76ers. Iverson stole Game 1 with an iconic performance. Then the Lakers won the next 4 games. Shaq averaged 33 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks per game. Finals MVP number 2. The toughest challenge yet: the Sacramento Kings, one of the greatest teams to never win a championship. The series went 7 games. Controversial officiating, debates that still rage today. But the Lakers survived. Finals against the New Jersey Nets. Shaq averaged 36 points and 12 rebounds. The Lakers swept. 3 championships, 3 finals MVPs, 3 consecutive years of absolute terror for every big man in the league. This was prime Shaq, the most dominant stretch a center has had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 70s. But great dynasties don't fall because of opponents. They fall because of themselves. Shaq wanted a contract extension. The Lakers said no. Kobe wanted more shots. Shaq wanted respect. They started taking shots at each other in the media. The locker room fractured. The chemistry dissolved. Karl Malone and Gary Payton joined the Lakers, a super team on paper, 4 future Hall of Famers. But the team imploded. Egos clashed. Roles were unclear. And in the finals, Detroit's defense exposed every weakness. Ben Wallace became the first center in years to defend Shaq straight up. The Pistons won in 5 games. The dynasty was over, and Lakers owner Jerry Buss had a decision to make: keep Kobe or keep Shaq. He chose Kobe and traded Shaq to Miami. Shaq arrived in Miami out of shape, nearly 400 pounds. Pat Riley took one look and said absolutely not. The Heat had strict conditioning requirements. Shaq slimmed down to around 320 pounds, and he played with a massive chip on his shoulder. Shaq finished second in MVP voting behind Steve Nash. He disputes that result to this day. The Heat fell short in the conference finals, but 2006 was different. Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas went up 2-0. Game 3 looked like the dagger. Then Dwyane Wade went supernova, one of the greatest finals performances in NBA history. The Heat won 4 straight games to capture their first championship. Shaq wasn't the finals MVP this time. Wade was. But Shaq had delivered a championship to a second franchise. He'd proven he could win without Kobe. He'd silenced the critics. His legacy was cemented. After 2006, age caught up. Shaq clashed with Pat Riley. The Heat traded him to Phoenix. He tried to capture one more ring alongside Steve Nash. Didn't work. He went to Cleveland to play with LeBron James. Didn't work. He joined the Boston Celtics' Big Three. Didn't work. His body was done. In 2011, after an Achilles injury, Shaq retired. 19 seasons, 28,596 points, 13,099 rebounds, 4th all-time in blocks. But the question remained, how good was he really? Shaq wasn't perfect. He shot 52.7% from the free throw line for his career, one of the worst ever for a star player. He admitted he often showed up to camp out of shape. Phil Jackson called him the laziest superstar he ever coached. Kobe said Shaq could have won 10 championships if he worked like he did. And yet, for 14 straight seasons, Shaq averaged 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game. He led the league in field goal percentage 10 times. He won 4 championships, 3 finals MVPs, 1 regular season MVP, 15 All-Star selections. When comparing centers, everyone has their argument. Kareem has the longevity and 6 championships. Hakeem has the footwork and defensive mastery. Wilt has the numbers. Russell has 11 rings. David Robinson had the discipline and fundamentals, but none of them could physically overwhelm opponents the way Prime Shaq did. He was 325 pounds, moving like a power forward, dunking over double teams, breaking equipment. There's never been anything like him, and there probably never will be again. If Shaq approached basketball like Kobe approached basketball, the endless work, the obsession, the commitment, he might have been the greatest player ever. 10 championships, 5 MVPs, the undisputed GOAT. That wasn't Shaq. He lived life loudly, joyfully, on his own terms, without regret. And even with the flaws, even with the missed potential, Shaquille O'Neal remains a top 5 center of all time, a top 20 player in NBA history, and the most physically dominant force the league has ever seen. Powerful, unstoppable, legendary. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you're subscribed to RimZone and hit that notification bell. We've got more breakdowns of basketball's greatest legends coming your way. Drop a comment below and let me know who you want to see next. I'll catch you in the next one.